Hello, family. Welcome. Today we're going to demonstrate our family hair care $1 million wash and go. And by $1 million wash and go, I mean a wash and go that's going to last until you want it to not last anymore. It's going to look better with as the days go on, and your hair is also going to thrive, grow, and get healthier. So let's go ahead and look at Lisa's hair. Let's examine our starting point. Okay. Now, if you're using, so let's go ahead and get started. So this is going to be step-by-step instructions on how to do your hair unwash day, including your family hair care scalp restoration treatment. So if you're having issues with alopecia, hair loss, thinning, just scalp issues overall, this is going to help you out immensely. So if you're using let's go ahead and go step by step. Let's start with step one, patch test. So if you're using the product for the first time, it's a very, very concentrated and potent product made of natural ingredients. So we just want to make sure that everyone is going to be receptive to the product and not have any allergies or any irritation. So what we recommend you do is apply. Lisa, go ahead and read step one for me right there.
Patch test. Apply to a small section of hair, scalp, and the inner arm to check for sensitivity.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do 11 steps total. We're going to go ahead and do up until the ceiling part today. So I'm going to have Lisa read them off because she's going to be you at home. So let's go ahead and start with number one again, one more time.
Okay, so patch test. Apply to a small section of hair, scalp, and the inner arm to check for sensitivity.
Okay, so as you guys know, this is our product. This is our family hair care, our new improved formula, and it is amazing. If you love the original family hair care, you are going to like be overjoyed with this. You use it slightly different, but once you get the hang of it, your hair is going to thrive, no question about it. So let's go ahead and do our patch test. So we're just going to take a little bit of that product, as you can see. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and apply some on the scalp, and we're going to form a curl, and then we are going to put a little bit on the arm to ensure that everything works cohesively. And well, not cohesively, but that there's no irritation or there's no allergens or anything. So let's go ahead and demonstrate this. Let me go ahead and just remove a small section of the front. And Lisa, your hair has already growing. Like you just started using the new formula like about what 2 months ago, and you've been doing the 30-day hair challenge and things. And I noticed a difference already.
It's thicker too.
Pardon?
It feels thicker.
It's very much thicker. Yeah. So if you guys can see that. Okay, so let's just go ahead and so this is just going to be our scalp test. So you're going to just take a small section of hair, and I recommend you doing this up near the edges so that you can go ahead and number one, form a curl. Number two, lay those edges down so you can go ahead and see how the hair reacts. And then number three, ensure that there is no irritation or anything. And there is very, 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 very rarely irritation. These are natural ingredients. This is a very concentrated formula, so just want to make sure that everybody is good. But overall, you should not have any issues at all. So when we do this part, the scalp test, it's not only to test whether we can, whether the product is going to cause any irritation or anything, but also it's going to show you at the outset how your curls are going to end up. So you can know whether you want to use more or less product. You can know all these things beforehand, so you don't have to go through a whole jar to figure out, your sweet spot. So let's go ahead and just add a little bit of that product. First thing, you're gonna go ahead and just give me your forearm. I'm just going to go ahead and do a test if you're using it for the first time, just to make sure there's no irritation. You want to probably go ahead and do that and just leave it on for a couple of hours. If there's nothing happens, then you'll be good to go. Likely there won't be anything that happens. We just recommend it just for everybody using it for the first time, just to ensure that there, are no issues. Okay, so go ahead and apply it. If you go ahead and see the edges, we're going to go ahead and just smooth that down on the edges. Now, when you apply the product, especially if you have very coarse hair, you don't just put a little bit of product on there and start doing the hair. You put a little bit of product, you let it saturate, and you let it soften the hair, and then you can manipulate, move the hair, style the hair, if that makes sense. So I wouldn't try to form a curl out of this right now. I just put the product on. I will let it sit for about 2 or 3 minutes and let that formula do the work so we don't have to do the work when we're styling. Okay. So I'll go ahead and do that. And this will be like about just enough for a patch test. You have it on your edges and you have it on your hair that's left out. So now you can go ahead and see how it's going to lay down your edges. And you can also see how your curls will form if you choose to do a wash and go. Now we do show you how to do the easiest protective style ever, which is the emery bun. You guys know my hair in a bun all the time. As a matter of fact, I've had my hair in a bun for 9 weeks right now. My hair is actually thriving. I have so much new growth, it's crazy. But this is, how you do everything to get the hair prepped for that. So we let this set on for a little while, and as we see, this is just soft like butter. Let's go ahead and just take this apart now, and you can just see the curls fall because we let it set and we let that penetrate. This is a very concentrated formula. I tell you guys, it's a labor of love. It takes 3 days to make, but it is very, very well worth it. I have never seen anything like this before. Okay, so we have just separated those curls and they're just falling. But if you really want to like really predict how your hair is going to turn out after you do the wash and go and all the steps, you can just go ahead and seal this in. So I do want to go ahead and see how that hair is going to look on that scalp too. So I'll go ahead and make this brush a little bit of that out. And we're going to cover edges in this video too. So we're going to have a treat for you guys. Your edges are your finishing touch to any hairstyle. They are like the difference between a professional hairstyle and one that was like, oh, okay, that's cute. But something that's like, oh, okay, wow, I want my hair like that. Or I wonder what she using her hair. So that is what a professional, that's what the professional one can do. Can you turn it on? You have it on your phone? There. Thank you. So warm. Okay, so let's go. So as you guys can see, we'll go ahead and we have those edges. And so when I comb the hair out, you go ahead and do it. Okay. So when I comb the hair out, with the comb. So we're just using an edge brush. I just like to comb it down with the product. And then once I get the hair combed down from there, I like to just use my fingers because they smooth the hair down with the skin, keep everything in the right temperature. They don't take any product off of the edges. And once you do it, they're sealed in. So it's going to take a little bit more product. And this is how you would do it if you're just styling your edges for the day. You can zigzag, you can do anything, and that hair is not going to move. Okay. So when you're doing your scalp treatment, you can just go ahead and you can use a brush, a comb again. You can just use your fingers. It is like totally up to you. So you can have your edges up far as you want them, or back as as far as you want them. But if the goal is to restore your hairline, you want to keep them up front. And then I know that we'll show you guys this a little bit later, but all these edges, these can be curls too. So if you want to, you can just go ahead and form those into like nice small curls and let those begin to grow. So you have so many options, but this is just the scalp, the patch test. Okay. So as we see those curls fall, so you'll be good, and then you can go ahead and seal them in, and then once that dries, you will know how your hair is going to look once it dries, and then you'll be in a much better position to handle your wash and go. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to step number 2.
Okay, so pre-wash, detangle, and prep hair before cleansing.
Okay, so if your hair tangles easily, if you haven't had a wash day in a while, just go ahead and give your hair a little bit of care. Use a spray bottle. You can put a little family hair care in it and just spray your hair down, detangle. I like to wash my hair in sections because my hair is very, very thick and it tangles on itself, even if I detangle before I get it washed. So I like to maybe section it, like Lisa had a section now, into like 4 different sections. And then recommend just go ahead and have it twisted. Put your and then once you do that, your hair will be stretched, it'll be detangled. There, if any dead hair is in there for the last couple of weeks because you haven't had a wash day, we'll go ahead and pull all that out before we wet the hair, and then you'll be in a much better position. If you notice that you have a lot of breakage on your ends, especially on wash day, what I recommend you do is just put a little bit of the family hair care on your hair on the ends before you wash so that you can go ahead and protect. Now, some people be like, I'm not going to use my product for that, but the goal here is not to conserve. The goal here is to get your best hair. So you using a little bit more product to save you a couple of weeks of hair growth because that breakage is coming, it is what will not occur, is going to put you ahead in the game. So let's go ahead and use our logic and let's go ahead and keep our goals in the forefront. Okay, so once we do that, we'll go ahead and wash our hair. Lisa, go ahead, read number 3.
Wash, cleanse thoroughly with a clarifying shampoo to remove buildup.
Okay, so we recommend you use a clarifying shampoo. When I talk to some customers and they say, "Hey, I'm not getting the results that I want," oftentimes it's because they use like different kind of shampoos that cause buildup on the hair that doesn't allow our product to penetrate the way that it's supposed to. So we just recommend just having squeaky clean hair. Go ahead and use a clarifying shampoo. If you like to add a little bit additional moisture, there are clarifying conditioners too, and we have one on our website that most of us use, and it actually works very very well with the product. Okay, so once you clarify the hair, I'm sorry, yeah, once you do a clarifying wash, make sure that that hair is clean. What's next, Lisa?
Okay, number 4, dry and stretch hair. Detangle again. Air dry or lightly stretch using twists, low heat, or satin scrunchies.
Okay, so if you have washed your hair in 4 sections, or you wash it, or you did not, just go ahead and do it in 4 sections now. Make sure that everything is detangled still, and you go ahead and let that hair dry. If you're in a rush, you can go ahead and just put, blow dry it on cool or low heat, just to go ahead and stretch the hair. People always say, who have shrinkage, hey, I have shrinkage, and I asked them, like, when in your routine did you elongate the hair to combat the shrinkage? And then they like, oh, I did, I don't know. So this is where we elongate the hair and stretch the hair so that we won't have, all of the shrinkage, and we'll have the volume and the length. Okay, so we have to start on dry hair. If you like the shrinkage, if you like the more volume because of the shrinkage, then go ahead and use damp hair. But please, 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 I recommend everyone using it on dry, stretched hair for the very first time. For me, okay? And most importantly, for you. Okay, Lisa?
Number 5, PHC scalp treatment. Stimulate dry scalp first. Apply PHC, massage it in, let it observe, then stimulate once more.
Okay, so we're gonna do our scalp treatment. So if you are having thinning of the hair, if you have a scalp irritation, if you're balding, because I was balding and I grew my hair with this, and I use this treatment. Let me go ahead and tell you exactly what we're gonna go ahead and do, and what we're gonna go ahead and use to go ahead and get you those results. So we're gonna go ahead and use just 3 things. Um, 1 second. Thank you. Okay, so the 3 things are going to be the edge comb that we've been using the whole time. And number 2, this is called a derma roller, and it is also listed on our website. It stimulates the scalp. It punctures like very very tiny holes, so it lets products seep in. It also gets rid of flaking and all that stuff. It gets your scalp healthy. And then number 3, a scalp scrubber. And this is awesome for the scalp, but it really really works well if you have longer hair. So you can still get to the scalp and not interrupt the hair minimally. So we're gonna start off with those 3 things. So let's start on this side, because this is where we would be if we were not doing the scalp test. So I like to start off and do all 3 of the things on dry hair first. So if there's any scalp flaking or anything, it's gonna go ahead and come off now. If there's any buildup on the scalp, it's gonna go ahead and remove that, so it'll let the product penetrate and give you the best results in restoring your hair. Now, in doing this, you don't want to like scratch the hair, scratch the scalp or irritate it or have it red or anything, this is a very minimally invasive treatment. Just go ahead and get started. So I like to start off with the edges because they are our best friend in natural hair care. And we are just going back and forth to make sure that all the hair is where it's supposed to be. And let me tell you guys, about 90% of the time, if you do this step, you will notice growth or you will notice more thickness instantly because there is hair going in places where it's supposed to be. And this hair may not be there because it may have been stretched. It may have, it just may be how you brush your hair, or whatever. But we go ahead and just put all the hair back to where we want it to be. Let's start with the edges. Now, when I say edges all the time, I know a lot of people always think of the front of the hair, but the edges extend around the edges of the perimeter of the whole head. So let's go ahead and do the back part. Okay. So for the sake of time, I'm just going to go ahead and demonstrate how to do it on this front section right here. Let me just go ahead and take this out. And how are you so far, Elise? Good. Okay, great. Okay, so we're just going ahead and then we're just going to go ahead and just touch the scalp wherever we can in there, just to make sure that everything is where it's supposed to be. And I like to go up, down, and back, forth. And this is just loosening everything up, making sure that that scalp is nice and healthy, that there's no hangups or anything, and that that hair is all growing where it's supposed to grow, not just where it was pulled for a hairstyle and got stuck or something like that. Okay. So we went ahead and did the edges. Now let's go ahead and do our derma roller. So let's go ahead and see your hand, Lise. This is so they're like really, really tiny little needles. It's very, very gentle, but the fact it doesn't hurt. Okay, so we want people to know that. So we don't want to be pushing it in or anything like that. It is very, very gentle. So let's go ahead and apply it as such on your head. Let's go ahead and get those edges going. And this is just putting everything where it's supposed to go and getting that scalp prepped. And I love this because you can do it over the long hair parts also. And we'll go ahead and just make sure that we rub that down. Okay, and this is stimulating the scalp. And you really want to focus on parts where you have like the thinning hair, the alopecia, like the balding spots. Not only do you want to focus on those spots, you want to focus on the areas immediately surrounding those spots because more than likely that's where the hair is if it's been moved from those areas. And we kind of find out a little bit more on our weekly live, so I'm not going too far into that right now. Let's go ahead and demonstrate this treatment. So now we have done the dermal roll. Let's go ahead and do our scalp scrubber. And this is just really getting in there and making sure that that scalp is nice and flake free and healthy. And when we put this product on there, it is going to really penetrate. And then that all your scalp is where it's supposed to be. So it's going to heal correctly. You are doing like the Lord's work by doing this treatment. Lisa, how does this feel so far? Good. Oh, that's really good. Okay. So we did the 3 steps on on dry stretch hair. Now let's go ahead and add the product, and then we're going to let the product saturate, and we're going to go ahead and do the 3 steps again. So let's go ahead and when I add product, we add product liberally. Let me go sure you can see. Okay, so can you tilt your head? Thank you so much. Let's go ahead and just add that product. And when I'm adding it to the hair, I'm adding it on top of the scalp. I'm sorry, I'm adding on top of the hair, on the very top of the hair, but I'm making sure I add enough to where I can feel it on the scalp. So we're going all the way through the hair, and you want to feel that coolness on the scalp where we just derma rolled and we just scalp scrubbed. And if you are not doing the scalp restoration treatment, this is also how we decondition. You just put put it on the hair. You want to let it penetrate, let it sit, let it soften the hair, and then once the hair is softened, then you can go ahead and manipulate it in any way that you like. But this is the same routine. Usually you can just put it on the scalp and you're fine. We're just gonna go ahead and skip, to the next step by letting this penetrate while we do the scalp scrub on the rest of the hair.
So do you read step 6, the deep conditioning?
You could. Well, we're still doing the scalp treatment, but you can read that one too. We're kind of combining them for this purpose. But go ahead, please.
Okay, number 6, deep condition. Saturate hair completely and let sit for at least 3 minutes. Hair texture should soften noticeably.
Okay, so that is the hair texture. So let's go ahead and we're just saturating it right now. I'm not separating this big section or anything. I just want to make sure that there's enough to get in here and to cover the bottom so it can make my life a little bit easier once we actually dive into the section. Okay, so a little bit more. And I'm getting those edges because we are about to go over them. And guys, I have probably about like on wash day, I probably have about like 2% of the hair loss that I used to have. I used to come out like handfuls of hair every wash day. With this, it's like nothing. If anything, it's like a couple of hairs.
Yeah, me too.
Awesome. Okay, so we're just going to saturate that. And while we're doing that, we're going to go ahead and finish up our scalp treatments. And let me go ahead and bring this back up front. We're going to do left, right, up and down again. We just want to make sure that that hair is where it's supposed to be. We don't really get in there. We want everything to be smooth. We don't want any spots. And if you have a spot, that's thinning for you, not performing, that's the spot you want to give some TLC to. I know a lot of people, they like to skip those spots or they're scared of them. Don't be scared. You are the ruler, okay? So let's go ahead and make sure we are getting all that in there and where it's supposed to be. And also by doing this, this is how we have the smooth roots. A lot of people, their hairstyle has maybe like a quarter inch of like curly or new growth or like frizz, and then a hairstyle starts. You want to make sure that you get all that length. So you want to make sure that you do this, at the root. Okay, so we went ahead and did that part. Let's go ahead and do our derma roller again. Okay, so we'll go ahead and just make sure, and this is how you restore your hairline. You don't have to go get a hair transplant. If you want to go ahead and do all that stuff, that's fine. You don't have to get the shots. You don't have to use the minoxidil or any of that. Well, if you want to, you can, but I recommend if you are going on that path, there are, side effects to all of them. Just to go ahead and try this, and this will like really get you together. You will see results on the first treatment, but very, very much so noticeably within the first 30 days as far as like the new growth. And we see already how much thicker those edges appear. We are just really putting that hair where it's supposed to go and working that in there. Okay. So now that we have that done, we can go ahead and do our scalp scrubber. And this serves two purposes and make sure that that scalp is nice and healthy. And it also put this hair where we want it to be and does a lot of the work since in our detangling. So we already added the product and now it's just really, really soft and manipulable. Okay. So our scalp treatment, we are good to go. And remember, if you have any problem areas, focus on those areas and the immediate areas around them, and they will flourish with this method. Okay. So that concludes our scalp treatment. You go ahead and do this on all 6 sessions. You're going to end up with some nice, soft hair that's ready to be styled. So, Lisa, what's our next step?
So number 7 is edges, front and back. Smooth a small amount into edges for additional moisture.
Let's go back to the deep conditioning a little bit. Can you go
Okay.
back a little bit more? Okay, let's go ahead and read that one
So
again.
6, deep condition. Saturate hair completely and let sit for at least 3 minutes. Hair texture should soften noticeably.
So you guys see all this is softened. So we want to make sure that we are all here. So if your hair is still really, really coarse and really, really dry at this stage, then you want to go ahead and put a little bit more on here and let it wait before you try to manipulate it. The product should be doing the work, not you. At this part, you should not be or any of that. It should just be nice, soft, curly hair, if that makes sense. Okay. Now, depending on how you like your hair, if you like a little more volume, if you don't like the really, really slick look, if you don't have to put a lot of product in your hair to get results, this would pretty much be it. Like, these curls are falling. We can go ahead and style this right now and just fill this in. But if you have really, really coarse hair and you want to do the 30-day, 60-day, and you want those curls to look good the whole time, then we're going to go ahead and part in small sections and single. So let's go ahead and okay, so before we do that, now it's deep conditioned, everything is soft. This is how you get the growth, guys. If you have problems with your edges, I'm sorry, with your ends and you have breakage, right here's where you want to go ahead and put a little bit more. I like to put it in on my hands, put my hand at the bottom, put the hair on my hand, put the product on top of the hair, and I'm rubbing the product on my hand. So on my hand at the bottom, so when it's gonna go right through the hair, and every hair in between is going to be sealed and saturated. So when you do it that way, it stretches it out. Number one, and to make sure that you know that everything's consistent and it just falls right down. Okay, so that is that for that. Now, let's go ahead after. Okay, so this is the decondition. Let's go ahead to the next step. Step number 7.
Okay, so edges, front and back. Smooth a small amount into edges for added moisture and control.
Okay, so when you're doing a wash and go and your hair is going to be down near in your face, it's kind of hard at the end to go back and do those edges. When you do them at the beginning, it actually frame your whole style, and you can let the curls fall based on how everything is going to appear at the end because you already know the end game because you've already done it. If that makes sense. So let's go ahead and just part. And even everything that we're using is on our family hair care store, even down to the combs that we're using. Everything is there. I like to do my final part at the very, very end. So I'm just gonna go ahead and move this hair back. So we can go ahead and focus on those edges first. And when you're natural, I like to do this part first because a lot of times, when we're natural, we don't get a hairline or something. The neck or the kitchen may not be, the most welcoming as far as appearance. So when you do this first, it already sets the tone. You don't have to worry about anything later. So I'm just gonna go ahead, and this here is like nice and soft. You could, if you know, if like some people like, I don't like edges, I don't like all that. That's totally fine. You don't have to even do edges. You can just go ahead and pull that back if you want to into the hair, or just slick it down to the side. We just want to make sure that it is slick, not fuzzy, not nappy, not furry, because that's not what we're going for here. Does that make sense? Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do a little curly style. This is like super simple. I like to keep the scalp, the edges as close to the hair, as close to the face as possible. It really frames the hairline. And then again, you see these edges right here. You can go ahead and make curls out of these. If you don't want to have edges, you can like literally grow these into long curls and start your baby hair and like really like grow your baby hair into adults. So that's pretty much it for that part. Make sure you can see everything. So we just laid it down a little bit. That's how we're gonna do it because we're gonna have curls falling down over here and everything, and then back to be that. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this section, and then I'm gonna demonstrate how to do this. So okay, these are the edges. If you want to, and your edge control, and you have to like go heavy on the edge control because your edges curl up or something, you can go ahead and seal these edges in, put a little bit more, and you don't want to interrupt it. Just put a little bit more so that style is sealing in, and you won't have to bother those edges anymore for days when you do it this way. You're not using the edge control to like slick them down. Your hair is laying down because it's conditioned, and there's a big, big difference. It's not taking your hair out, it's not pushing your hairline back. It's actually protecting your hair, and this is going to grow very, very very, very well. It's not going to go any differently than the rest of your hair, if that makes sense. Okay. So, what's the next step, Lisa? After the edges.
Okay, number 8, style. Apply product generously in small sections from root to end. Wait 3 minutes before sealing.
Okay. So, we'll go ahead and do the styling part. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this clip down, and I am pretty much just using my fingers. I'm gonna take a small section, and we're gonna go ahead and just form these curls a little bit better so that they can last. I like to form curls. Turn your head to the side. If you turn to the side, you can see individual curls. You're not just seeing a whole lump of hair that looks curly. These are individual curls. That's why we shingle from root to tip. Okay. So let's go ahead and just apply a little bit more on that small section because now we're doing the styling. People like to apply our product one time for the whole hairstyle. What other product do you just use one product and then use it one time? So we're replacing several products. You're going to apply it like a deep conditioner. And then if you're using like a 4-step or a 6-step or 6-product system, you have different products for that styler and for that sealer. So we're going to use this one product to do all those things, but we still have to do those steps if we want to get the results. So let me go ahead and just shingle that curl. We're using it right now for the styler. So and watch how that curl just falls. You see how heavy that curl is? It is detangle, it is deep condition, and now it is heavy with good product that's going to nourish it and nurse it back to health while keeping it defined and moisturized. And just look at those curls, they just instantly fall. Now, this hair is very, very manageable. I have 4Z hair, which is why I love this product because it makes my hair instantly like everybody else's hair. My hair is very, very unruly. It soaks up product, which is why I'm a little heavy handed with the product. So if you ever see these videos and say, hey, using a lot of product, if you get the result that you want with less product, that's fine. If you're not getting the results, use more product. That's typically about the issue 90% of the time. I know the jars are smaller. I know everything, but that's not my guarantee. I don't guarantee you that I can do your hair for $10. And I'm guaranteed that if you follow these steps, your hair will thrive. Your alopecia spots will thicken, your breakage will cease. Like that's what we're here for, okay? Because we can go to a 99-cent store and get some products if that's what we're aiming at, and if want to be cost effective at the risk of results, okay? So just go ahead and make sure that that is done. And when you do these curls, you'll make sure that they are really saturated at the roots and on the top and the bottom. So you don't want like a shiny curl up top, and then at the bottom you have the shrinkage because it's curling up because there's not enough product on there. So those are just the curls, and they fall really, really heavily. If you have shrinkage and you want to, have larger curls, let me go ahead and show you guys. Well, if you have shrinkage, let me go ahead and show you guys a technique that will get rid of that. So again, we just do another small section. I think I'm going to part with the comb this time so I can show you guys this technique on a clean part. And then you see how easily we are parting the hair. It's not like I'm ripping through it or anything. This is so much more healthy for the hair. Even with the original formula, my hair is super thick. It does fall in my hair like butter, but my hair is still 4C, and it could tangle up again a lot more easier than with this product. This just does everything for me. It just does like all the work. If you just follow these steps, there's no way you cannot get the results, okay? Because the product does about 75%, 80% of the work if you just use it. Okay. So I'm just going to put that product on there on this small section. Now, if I say, hey, these curls are going to dry just like this, okay? So that's first of all. We don't have any water in here. If you put water in here, this is going to take a couple of hours to lock in. The water is locked in. It's going to make the curls fatter and shorter because when that water is locked in, as it dries, that's how it's going to go ahead and the hair is going to react to it. These curls are going to dry just like this. But if you say, hey, I usually have shrinkage anyway, like my hair is not long or my hair is thin, and I want to get like the longer curls too, then you just want to go ahead and do larger curls. So instead of these little curls that we did right here or these smaller curls, I'll do one with maybe like 3 times the hair. What that does is that keeps, so I'm gonna probably make these little first So we're gonna do the three curls, 1, 2, 3, and then we want to make sure that they are defined. They have it product on the top and the bottom. We're gonna do all this on the first day, so we're gonna do this every day. I know a lot of people like to do their hair every day, just put a little bit on their hair, and you can do that with this. There's no buildup, but I am a busy person. I don't know if you guys know I'm a lawyer. I also own two other businesses aside from family hair care, and I like to do my hair and be done with it and wake up looking fly, go to bed looking fly, and have predictable results. Okay, so if your curls like, hey, I don't want the shrinkage, you just want to go ahead and you have these three curls, and then all you have to do is just take those three curls and combine them. It's going to dry in one big, heavy, huge curl. Once that dries, you can then take it apart and have three curls again, but it dried very, very heavy and weighted, so you have all the weight and you will not have any shrinkage. Does that make sense to you, Lisa? Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'll take it apart now. If you want to, you can keep that together. It's kind of like plaited, or kind of like it's like your strength in numbers, those three curls together are going to be way more defined, way more longer. I mean, way more elongated than had you did it this way. But this is the way we typically do it. But if you have those issues, that's how you overcome it. So let me go ahead and just let those curls drop so we can have some consistency with this style. But this is super, super easy. Now, Lisa, let me ask you a question. When you do your hair, like your own wash and goes, do you like use this much product? Can you turn the camera a little bit? Yeah. Yeah. Do you use this much product typically, or do you use less product? Do you take a lot of time to dry your hair, and you just like do everything the day of? How do you handle it, or how do you handle
I
it?
use probably like this much product, and I just do it before I gotta go. I let it dry in the sun because it's Vegas. It's hot right now.
Okay.
So I get my best results when it dry in the sun.
Me too. The sun is a game changer. Okay, so guys, we are just separating those curls, letting them fall. You can make them as large or as small as you want to. We already did all the work with the deconditioning, so this is just literally pulling hair apart and just letting it fall. If you have frizz at this stage, you will have frizz when it dries. So this is where you want to take care of everything, even more so in the deconditioning stage. But everything right here is going to dry exactly like this because this product is amazing. Okay, so okay, turn towards me a little bit. We're going to do this final part of this section, and then we'll go ahead and finish up, and then show everybody. Well, actually, I'm going to show you guys the last step of this part first, and then we'll do the whole head and show you guys at the end how everything is going to look before it dries. Okay, so right now I'm just like literally pulling curls down. This is like the easiest ever. We just let it decondition. The hair is soft, and this is 4C hair, guys. So don't say, "Oh, it worked good for her hair, but it don't work good for my hair." You ain't never seen your hair, girl. Be quiet. Okay, we have been here. We done seen it all. When I do my tutorials, I try to find the worst heads to do it with, so that people like you and your ordinary 4C hair, and compared to this product, you can just know that it's going to do the job, not only for styling, but also hair restoration. If you guys can find a lot of products to make your hair look good, but if you are serious about like regrowing your hair, and everything, this is going to be a one-stop shop for you. So let's go ahead and look at these curls. Face the camera, or yeah, you were good right there. So these are the curls. We went ahead and just styled it and just let all the curls drop. Now, Lisa, what's the next step?
Number 9, seal.
Okay. I'm sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Lock in moisture and curl definition, focusing again on roots and ends.
Okay, so we have it styled. You want to wait like 3 minutes because a lot of people they if you really want your hair to be like this and wake up in the morning and not have frizz, we're gonna go ahead and seal everything again. This is gonna be equivalent of like when you are done styling your hair and use a little bit of hairspray or holding spray. It's gonna keep this style locked in. And it's gonna also add to the shine, not like a glycerin shine or like a spray shine, but a natural, nourishing shine. So let's go ahead and let's focus on the roots. And because I want my curls to be shiny and wavy and beautiful from the root, not just like you have a little frizz right here and then the curls start over here. Like that's not what we're going for, and that's not going to get you the healthiest hair. Okay, so we went ahead and just add a little bit on the root. Now let's go ahead and do the ends again. Remember, we're gonna put it on the hand and just make sure that they have enough product on there. I'm not trying to like put it on there then thin it out. You want to make sure that they are juicy. Juicy in, juicy out, okay? So don't say, oh, my hair is dry or da 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 da. If your hair is dry, I'm sorry, Lee.
I'm
That was a
fine.
little too juicy. Okay, so this is how the curls fall. Everything is defined and that product is sealed in. Those ends are going to stay defined. They're not going to get shrunken and frizzy or anything like that. So that is how we do that. We just seal everything that we did in, including the deep conditioning. So your hair is going to continue to be deep conditioned. Okay, at least what's the next step?
Okay, so the night routine.
Okay, no, we're gonna have to go there. So we're gonna go ahead and pause this right now. I'm gonna finish doing these steps all over the head. I'm gonna come back and show you guys how everything looks, and then we're gonna go ahead and allow it to dry. Okay, everybody, we have done all four sections of the hair. Let me go ahead and give you a 360 view. And if you can see, this is how it's going to dry. When you lift that hair up, you're going to have curls right underneath because we shingle them in sections, and that's how it's going to be. Um, let's go ahead and turn your head to the side. And when that dries, you can shake these, and all these are going to be very individual curls. We're gonna wait till it dries. If you want to do any volume or anything, just wait till it dries. You can separate the curls. You can lift them. You can lay them wherever. So this is the styling step, and we sealed it, and we are done. Let me just go ahead and get the top of this really quick. I just want to make sure this is really smooth and beautiful. And we don't want you to have to do anything to this hair, but do your nighttime routine. Okay. So everything's looking beautiful and defined. Remember, juicy in, juicy out. So it's really juicy. We're gonna give this a couple of hours to dry, and we'll be back a little bit later to show you guys. Hey family, I just want to show you guys something. So we're gonna take this cape off in a little while, and Lisa's hair, instead of the lint where it's gonna rubbing on her shirt and rub the product out. Y'all see that lint? Pow pow. Okay, but at least cut her hair all the time, so that's crazy work. But let's go ahead and pin these ends up so it does not fall on on the shirt or the neck, and take the product off, and then you will this will grow. I'm sorry, this will dry a lot better. So just let me go ahead and handle that for you. Just go ahead and put and pin up a little bit. I'm gonna keep it loose so we don't mess up the curl pattern, but we do not want that to get on our shirt. And the shirt's gonna just absorb all that product off, all that juiciness. We don't want that. So this is an important step. If you have longer hair and you're not getting under the dryer, you can just go ahead and put it up and go about your day. And you have curls everywhere, so it's nothing to be, looking crazy. We can do this a little neater if you wanted to like make it a little more presentable. Only keep those ends, the curls on those ends curly. So when I put this up, I really want to give them a little bit more attention because I want those ends to just dry and look so stunning. Hey family, I just want to show you guys something. So we're gonna take this cape off in a little while, and Lisa's hair, instead of the lint where it's gonna rubbing on her shirt and rub the product out. Y'all see that lint? Pow pow. Okay, but at least cut her hair all the time, so that's crazy work. But let's go ahead and pin these ends up so it does not fall on on the shirt or the neck, and take the product off, and then you will this will grow. I'm sorry, this will dry a lot better. So just let me go ahead and handle that for you. Just go ahead and put and pin up a little bit. I'm gonna keep it loose so we don't mess up the curl pattern, but we do not want that to get on our shirt, and the shirt's gonna just absorb all that product off, all that juiciness. We don't want that. So this is an important step. If you have longer hair and you're not getting under the dryer, you can just go ahead and put it up and go about your day. And you have curls everywhere, so it's nothing to be, looking crazy. We can do this a little neater if you wanted to like make it a little more presentable. Only keep those ends, the curls on those ends curly. So when I put this up, I really want to give them a little bit more attention because I want those ends to just dry and look so stunning. Okay, and then we already did the neck, so we don't have to worry about anything there. Everything is smooth. So this is how we would go ahead and do. I can just I can pin this up a little bit too. I don't think I need to. Let me just put one more in here for the longer hair people, so that you can get the result that you want and not have your ends be frizzy. And I'm gonna go ahead and give you another 360. Let me put another smaller one right here. And if you guys see we're looking up here, when we look up this hair, all you see is curls, all you see is slick edges, all you see is waves. Like there's no frizz, there is no like no naps, there's none of that. So this is just an amazing, amazing application. Okay, let me just put this little bitty one right here. Okay, so I'm gonna give you a 360. So we see all that hair is off the neck, and we see that she can go ahead and go about her business. You can go back to work. You can do whatever you want to do now, and that hair is drying. Or you can really get under the dryer and dry it this way, and it'll make sure that it'll get dried underneath in the perimeter, so that your hair dries a lot more evenly and better. So this is it. So we are all good. The hair is styled. The hair is conditioned. Now the hair is just drying, and then we'll come back a little bit later and show you once it dries a little bit more, and we'll show you how to do your nighttime routine.